Hello there, hope you are doing well. So today we are gonna look into one of the design patterns, that is factory design pattern. So factory design patterns come under an umbrella of creational design patterns. Now what is a creational design pattern? So creational design patterns provides a way to create objects while hiding the logic behind object creation. Now here in creational design patterns, we don't actually directly go and create an object from client by using new keyword. Rather, we let the object get created on the runtime based upon some logic. So over here in factory design pattern, this task is you know this task is taken care by factories. So the factory will create objects on the runtime. So as it is a design pattern, it is there to solve some problem. So factory design pattern solve these two problems. That is, how can an object be created so that subclasses can redefine which class to instantiate, and how can a class defer instantiation to subclasses. Okay, so this is a problem, and this is the solution which is given by Gang of Four. What do they say? They say that define an interface for creating an object, but let subclasses decide which class to instantiate. The factory method lets a class defer instantiation it uses to subclasses. Now this could be confusing it could be confusing in the first attempt. So let's actually divide the phrases and try to understand what they want to explain. Okay, so let's go and check class diagram also quickly. So we'll switch between class diagram and the definition. So what they're saying is define an interface for creating an object. So if you see in class diagram, so this would be an interface which would create object of the product. Here the products could also be multiple. It could be product 1, product 2 and product 3. Okay, and the creator can also be multiple. So creator 1, creator 2, creator 3. Okay, so and but let subclasses decide which class to instantiate. Now what would be the subclass for this creator? Creator 1, creator 2, creator 3. Now these classes would decide which product to call, or to which object of a particular class to instantiate. All right. So the factory method lets a class defer instantiation it uses to subclasses. Now we can have multiple creators, and each and every creator can have their own logic to create a product. Now the product is also multiple, right? Product 1, product 2, or and product 3. This might not be clear right now. Let's understand this within the help of an example. Okay. So whenever we talk about factory, what does come into our mind? A place where something is produced. Maybe it could be a car manufacturing factory, or maybe a laptop manufacturing factory, or an ice cream manufacturing factory. So each and every factory produces a particular type of a product. In case of OOPS concept, we talk about objects. So the factory design patterns basically creates an object. Okay. So if we talk about ice cream manufacturing factory, let's say you go to a counter and ask for a chocolate ice cream, and the vendor will directly come and give you chocolate ice cream. But you as a person need not know like how they are preparing chocolate ice cream, or if suppose you have asked for vanilla ice cream, then how are they preparing vanilla ice cream? You are only concerned about the product. So let's try to you know do uh, let's try to code and try to see the same example in the code front. So if I see here, so I have a product that is ice cream, and the type of ice creams. There is butterscotch ice cream, chocolate ice cream, and vanilla ice cream. Now each and every class is inheriting from I ice cream, right? And in I ice cream, what do we have? We have only one method which will return a floating uh, data type, float data type, and it is get price multiplier. Now what we want to do is Okay, let me run the program first and show you like what actually we want to do. So here we get a list of flavors which is available right now. So let's say I go and I make a wish that I want Choco Rambo. So I should get the price. Like, okay, I need to pay 45 rupees. Or let's say if I run it again, okay. So if I make a wish now that, okay, I want vanilla, I should get a price for vanilla. Okay. So now this implementation we have to do. Now we don't want to actually directly call it into the client. One way is that you test a input and you write if else logic and directly create objects through the client. But what factory pattern says is we don't have to create directly from the client. Rather, we need to create factories and the factories will internally create objects and give it to us. Okay. So right now let's go and see the factory. So the factory which is here is ice cream factory. What it does, it returns ice cream or the ice cream based upon some logic which is given into the implementation of this ice cream. Okay, so right now I have only one implementation. We can have multiple implementation for this. So if we go and see the implementation, now what does it checks? It checks the string. Like if string contains chalk, return chocolate ice cream. If string contains van, return vanilla ice cream. Or if suppose string contains butter, then butterscotch ice creams object should be returned. Now let's go and observe the program, the client code again. So this code will be used just to display the flavors present in the console. And here what we are doing is we are taking the input from the client. Let's say the client types in vanilla. So what happens is that uh, it will call this factory, ice cream factory. Okay, let's go to the implementation. Now, as soon as vanilla comes here, it will check where it will go. Now, it contains vanilla, so it will return a vanilla ice cream. Okay, so right now I have an object of vanilla ice cream into this. And what we are doing next, we are just displaying it, that entire amount, the multiplier from vanilla ice cream 2.2f and the base price. Now base price is set as 25 over here. So finally we get the exact price which we have to pay. So now if we go back and check what exactly they want to say, it would be we could relate much better. Okay. Now define an interface for creating an object. So we are defining an interface to create an object, that is iFactory. And what kind of object we are creating? We are creating ice cream. But let subclasses decide which class to instantiate. So what is the subclass over here? Ice cream factory. Now this is deciding which object to create, right? Which object of a product. I mean, which product to create. Either chocolate ice cream or vanilla or butterscotch. The factory method lets class defer instantiation it uses to subclasses. Now right now we can have multiple subclasses for this factory and I can have multiple logics, right? Multiple logic to instantiate. Let's say in India today we say chalk. Maybe in let's say Sweden there is something else which is called. So over there we can actually have different logic of object creation. So this is how this ob- uh, our factory design pattern works. So if you like the video, kindly share it with your friends, give a thumbs up and kindly subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Thank you very much. Have a great day.